I have fallen in love with the Pyrex mixing bowls. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? They have been super popular in the last several years. So, about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I started adding to my collection, and I thought it would be fun to create some projects and DIYs that are inspired by those patterns that you can find on all of the vintage Pyrex mixing bowls and casserole dishes and things like that. Thank you guys for stopping by Lavender and Lace. I'm Alicia. Welcome back to my viewers that come and see me each week. And hello, if you are new here, thank you so much for watching today's video. And I hope you will consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Please give it a thumbs up and let's get started with today's projects. I found one of my favorite patterns for Pyrex. It's the butter print one, and this is a digital file, and I found this on Etsy, and this is from one particular shop. It's Cadence Cases, and they also have several different patterns as well, so you could just choose the one that you like the best for your project. I just scrolled through all of these and looked at the different options and the different colors, but my favorite one was the blue butter print because I have a bowl that is that pattern. And I found this terracotta flower pot at Hobby Lobby, and all of the florals and stuff were on sale when I went. So I was able to pick this one up for $3. It did have a couple of cracks around the rim, but I thought that just added to the character of this. And I used my 2x paint plus primer in the color white, and this is the ultra matte finish. And I just took that outside and gave this a couple of coats. I did the outside as well as the inside. I would love to know if you collect Pyrex dishes, and if you do, which pattern is your favorite, or maybe you collect several different ones like I am currently. Let me know in the comments. And for my design, I printed it on tissue paper. If you guys have watched my videos for any length of time, you know that I really like this technique. It's just an easy way for me to get some type of artwork or design on my project that I am doing. And I sized this. I tried to get this a little bit bigger. And I did duplicate my pattern so that it would fit all the way around my flower pot. And you guys, when you do print on tissue paper, be sure that you print on the matte side and not the shiny side. And I did let mine dry overnight just so I wouldn't have any bleeding with my ink. And I just removed my tissue paper sheet, and I just used a regular piece of computer paper to run that through my printer. And I just trimmed up all of the extra tissue paper around the edges of my design. And I also decided to cut my design into some different sections. I thought that would be easier to apply it to my flower pot since that is a rounded surface. It's just hard to do that sometimes with designs like this, or even with vinyl and things like that, because your design, if you leave it completely together, it just wants to curve up on you, and I wanted this to be even and straight all the way around my flower pot. So I just picked sections that I thought would be easy to cut apart, and I had a little bit more space, and that would just allow me to space that out evenly around my flower pot. And I put down just a thin layer of Mod Podge on the surface of my flower pot. And I try not to get too much of this, because if you do get that tissue paper too wet, it just will wrinkle up a lot and it could also rip. So I just placed that down, and I started with the center portion of my design first. Just press that down lightly with my fingertips, and I just continued to do that with each piece of my design until I had everything put all the way around my flower pot. And because I did cut this into sections, I do have a little bit of a gap in between each of those, but because I painted this white, you're not able to tell that once everything is finished. And to get my design centered on the other side, I just took a ruler and marked lightly with a pencil so I would know where to start on the back side, or whichever side it's going to be, of my flower pot. And I put down my pieces first before I added any Mod Podge to this side. I was trying to see if I would have enough space to get everything lined up and put each of the pieces down. I did not have enough room to do those extra 2 corn stalks on this side, and I didn't do the best job in spacing this, but it looks okay and I am happy with the finished product. So I just repeated all of those steps with my Mod Podge and just put all of my pieces down to complete my design. And I did have a few of those pieces that overlapped, but all in all, it looks really good. And once that first layer of Mod Podge had dried, I just went back over the areas where I had my design with another layer of that Mod Podge. That just helped to seal everything in. And I thought there was just too much white on this piece, so I pulled out my Lagoon colored chalk paint from Waverly. I thought this was the best match that I had of paint colors, and I just went around the rim of that and I just did 1 coat. I thought this just added a little bit more color and made that design pop just a little bit better. And I took it outside and gave it a really good coat of my clear acrylic sealer, and this is how the finished product looks. And you could even use this in your kitchen. I thought it would be really cute to add some decorative towels to if you don't want to use it as an actual flower pot. But I love how this one turns out. Let me know what you guys think about this one. I picked up one of these cotton tea towels at Hobby Lobby, and they had some different colored ones that had either this blue or red stripe, I believe it was, and they also had some really large packs that were just plain, and you can also find the plain white flour sacks, the hand towels at Walmart as well. And I just measured out the bottom portion of this. I'm going to be using some iron-on vinyl for this project. So I just measured out a rough rectangle area for where I wanted to be able to apply my iron-on vinyl. And that file that I found on Etsy had several different formats that you could download for different projects. So I did the PDF for my first project, and I also did the SVG, so I would be able to cut this out with my iron-on vinyl. So I just uploaded that to Cricut Design Space. And I was just looking at all of the different elements and the designs to see if I thought this would actually cut out okay with my machine. Sometimes these very detailed designs, it doesn't do very well because they can be super small for whatever project that you are working with. So once I put in my rectangle, the size that I would need, I just sized that cut file as well and was hoping that it would cut out decently and I wouldn't have any problems with that. So I did send it to my machine to cut out, and once I got into the preview section on Design Space, I noticed something that I really had to go back and fix. Every element was separate. So if that happens when you are working with a design, you just need to select everything and then choose the attach button. That will just make sure your design cuts out altogether, and you don't want to have to cut out something separate that is this detailed and try to place down all those individual pieces. That would be an absolute nightmare. And when you are working with iron-on vinyl, be sure that you mirror your image. That will just make sure that it looks correct when you get it ironed onto your surface. And this was a larger image, so it did take a while to cut out. I like to stay close to my machine when I'm cutting out something that is more detailed and a larger image like this, just to make sure I don't have any issues. And if I have a choice, I would absolutely pick weeding iron-on vinyl versus like permanent vinyl. It's just a lot easier in my opinion. Once you get started, it's just super easy to just peel that back from the carrier sheet. And I just took my time with this process. I did sit close to my laptop so I would be able to see the actual design on the computer. Since it was so detailed, I didn't want to pull out anything that I needed to leave and be able to transfer that. And I wanted to make sure that I actually pulled up the sections that I needed to, so my design would look the way I wanted it on my hand towel. And for all of those really teeny tiny areas that I needed to remove, I just used my pen weeding tool, and I get these on Amazon. They are great to have if you do a lot with vinyl and projects with your Cricut. That just made it a lot easier to get into these very small areas of this particular design. And this vinyl I pick up at Hobby Lobby. It's the 405 brand, and it was on sale when I found it. And I thought this was the closest that I could get to matching the color that I wanted for this butter print. And I just followed the instructions on the package for this. It is a low temperature, and it only takes 5 seconds to actually apply this to your fabric that you are working with. So I just preheated my easy press, and then I just ironed out those wrinkles on the bottom where I will be applying my vinyl to, and just followed those instructions. And this literally takes 5 seconds per section. I was a little bit skeptical of that. I usually leave my easy press on there a little bit longer than what it recommends. But I didn't for this one, and I couldn't believe how fast this project went. I didn't even speed that up for you guys. So I just continued that until I had all of my design ironed onto my hand towel. And then all you have to do is peel back that carrier sheet, and this one is finished. This would be a great gift idea for any other Pyrex collectors or Pyrex enthusiasts that you might know. But let me know what you guys think about this one. This next idea is really easy to do, and it comes together in no time. And I did splurge a little bit on these picture frames because I wanted them to be more heavy duty. Sometimes the frames that you find at Dollar Tree are kind of flimsy, and I wanted to be able to use these for different things and switch out the artwork. So I found these at Dollar General, and I did get 2 of them for $12. So I thought that was still a good price. So I just started by removing the backing and everything on the inside as well, just to prep my frames and get them ready for this project. If you guys saw my recent post on my community section on my channel, you know that I am trying to prioritize my health and work on projects that don't take quite as much time right now. I'm trying to get back to 100% so I can do a lot more crafting, but up until this time, I'm not able to do quite as much as I would like to throughout the week. But once I had everything removed from my frames, I did just clean those off and remove any of the dust that they had on them. And I wanted to just change these up just a little bit. I did love the detail on these, and those are like a wooden frame. It's not real wood, of course, but I still like the way that this looked. But I just added a little bit of my plaster colored chalk paint, just did a light dry brushing across all of the areas of my picture frame. And then I cleaned that glass really well just to remove any lint or fingerprints. And this is a great project that you can just switch out that artwork like I mentioned before. You can just change this out for seasons, holidays, just have your family pictures, whatever that you want in these. So I just replaced that glass and got that put back in the frame as well as the mat. And since we are doing Pyrex inspired projects, I did just go onto Google and I searched Pyrex advertisements. That's all I did for this. If you had like some older magazines where they had the ads for the Pyrex dishes, you could just pull out one of those pages and use that for this if you wanted to. But I found just some that I really liked, and one of them still had kind of that watermark on there that just protects the designer so you won't sell their artwork or anything like that. But I'm just using these for personal use and displaying them in my dining room. So I just actually uploaded those to Canva. I like working with this program when I'm designing flyers or anything like that. It's just easy for me to work with. And then I just downloaded that and printed these out on some cardstock. And I absolutely love these designs. And of course, that one that I picked had the butter print design on that. So I thought that would coordinate and match really well with my other projects that I have done. So all you have to do once you have these printed is just center that in the matted portion for your frame. I just placed that on there and made sure I had it where I wanted it. And then I just secured that on the back so it wouldn't slide around with some washi tape. And then all I had to do was put that back into my frame and just replace everything and the backing and just secure those tabs. And just repeated that for my second piece of artwork. And this is just a very easy project that you can do. And I will be displaying this in my dining room like I mentioned. And I can change this out. They even have some Pyrex advertisements for Christmas. So I thought that would be fun to display as well. But let me know what you guys think about this one. And if this is something that you might try and add to your decor. I hope you all enjoyed these Pyrex inspired DIYs. I know this is probably something a little bit different than maybe you have seen before, but sometimes I am just a DIY rebel and I just like to do the things that I want to make for my home. So I hope I can inspire you to create some beautiful pieces for your home decor. Please give this video a thumbs up and make sure that you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. I hope you will consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Have a blessed day, and I will see you in the next one.